It's just like when I looked at the schedule, a friend of ours' son, Thomas's son, but he brought his schedule up to me, and I'm like, okay, it says my buddy sitting next to me, Mr. White, Coach White, but I said it's my room number, so I'm hoping he's in my room.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're hoping, but because he came up yesterday, because he had wanted to get in my audio video class, but a lot of these kids that are so into band, it's kind of hard to get audio video and band that first year. And but that doesn't mean you can't be in our audio video club or our broadcast club and do those things too. And we got broadcast club t-shirts now. We're just so cool. And just like, we're having fun. I'm excited for the year. I really am. Super excited for the year. You go back on Friday, right? Because you're in another county.
Yeah, I'm in another county. We start freshman or Thursday. Freshman Thursday.
This is which county?
Cheatham County.
Cheatham County. Okay. Yes, thank you, ILU. He's got us up on YouTube. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited for the year too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And so, nonetheless, and we're, as far as Robertson County, I had Dr. Weeks, Miss Dickerson in here, and Miss Williams. Miss Dickerson's in charge of. Man, I'm getting too warm in here. Anyway, it's still summertime and I'm in winter clothes. I'm always cold though. Well, we've got a professional development at Greenbrier this morning. And so I will freeze when I get in there. And you know how it is because I'm always cold. So I had grabbed something to keep me warm, and it's too warm in here though. But we had again Miss Dickerson, Miss Williams, and Dr. Weekson yesterday. Miss Williams is in charge. She heads up the curriculum direction for pre-K through middle. And then, of course, Miss Dickerson's overall, she's one of the assistant directors. And then Dr. Weeks is our director of schools. So we talked a lot about pre-K and some of those things that are going on here in Robertson County. There's still some openings for the voluntary pre-K program. And it's a 5-day-a-week thing. And so there's still some open slots there. So you can still apply for that. Got to get your kids registered. If you have not, we had some kiddos come in last night that hadn't even registered yet. And you got to get registered, guys. And you got to know what bus you're going to be riding, all these things. So, but the teacher's first day for Robertson County, let me just kind of reiterate, is Monday. And then kiddos will join us for a half day Tuesday next week. And then we'll be off to the races. So
it's kind of weird you guys are starting that many more days ahead of us. It's kind of odd.
Well, we're not. Because you said your kids are coming
Thursday. Freshmen.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday. I thought you meant this week.
No, well, tomorrow's Thursday. We have a full day PD tomorrow, housekeeping Monday or Friday, PD Monday again. This is 4th. I got like 4 PDs and a housekeeping day.
Okay.
Before we get kiddos. Yeah, we don't get freshmen until next Thursday.
Okay. Well, we're just a few days ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm excited though.
But just like, the counties are all different. That's, I would love for us to be on the same schedule as my grandkids. My grandkids are up in Wilson County. And that's Mount Juliet, right? Wilson County, I think. So they're in Wilson County, and they start with their first full day is Friday. Mine are all elementary kiddos. I got my granddaughter's going into kindergarten. Oh, that's just crazy. And then my grandson's going into 3rd grade, and there's all that anxiety about that 3rd grade test at the end of it. And he'll do fine. He's brilliant. I mean, he's such a smart kid. But that's a very anxious time for 3rd grade kids. And so it's just a lot. But we're back to school, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great year. It's going to be just a wonderful year. I know Greenbrier, man. If you have not seen our back to school video, it is fabulous. Miss Grimes always has great ideas. And so she started messaging me a few weeks ago, hey, can we put together a first back to school video? And she had it all laid out. She just sent it to me, and I had to, put the pieces together. So it's her brainchild, but I got to do the editing on it. But it was a lot of fun just looking at the kids, in detail, just watching those kids. When you're editing a piece of video, you study it. So I'm studying every kid that's in it and just seeing big smiles and enthusiasm and excitement, and just looking at these kids going, man, they're just great kids, and so I don't know. I think we're going to have a great year.
I think the benefit you and I have is Well, for those that don't know, Lavern and I both teach what's called CTE, Career Technical Education classes.
Yeah.
The benefit that we have over other teachers is we get kiddos for pretty much the 4 years of their high school career, their high school lives.
Yeah, we get to know them.
We get to really grow with them.
Yep.
So this is my 3rd year at Cheatham now. So kids that I had as freshmen, and I'll openly say this even on the radio, is like I'm not overly fond of freshmen. I'll put it that mildly. Freshmen come in, they're still, their maturity level's not.
No, it's not.
It's not high. We'll put it mildly.
Oh, it's funny.
So every year I'll say, like, my freshman, I'm not going to like you very much right now, but come senior year when you walk, I'll be the first one crying for you.
That's hysterical.
Because you gain a bond, you get to watch these kids grow and flourish, and so this year is the first year now over at Cheatham.
Yeah.
That I get because you're level 4, the kids are off getting jobs and stuff like that. It's work-based learning, so it's really we get them for 3 solid years in a classroom. So this will be the first year I have kids that I got as a freshman now going into my level 3 class, and I'm really excited for that class. It's going to be fun, good group of kids. They know me, I know them. At that point too, a lot of the kids, if they just don't like you, they kind of eventually drop.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to year 3, you got kids that like you.
Yeah.
And
to be in your class.
Yeah.
And it is a blessing.
And you're going to get some real work done.
Yeah.
And especially at that point too, most of them are juniors, and most of the juniors realize that's the make or break year.
Yeah.
Because senior year, kids are kind of useless past Christmas as seniors.
Mm-hmm. True.
They are. I mean, they've already, by Christmas, they've already decided what college they're going to go to, what military branch, what job, or tech school or something.
Yeah.
They've already figured all that out. They're just trying to get through, just muddle through enough just to get to graduation.
Sorry. I'm trying to fix some stuff here.
So yeah, I'm excited for the year. I'm really excited for that group. They added work-based learning on me this year.
Okay.
So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's not just my kiddos. It's like all the work-based. All the
work-based learning. The ones that and work-based learning is where the kids they check in at school, but then they go out in the community and get some work done. And you're also coaching. In what capacity are you coaching?
Offense.
You're offensive coach, line coach, or
no, receivers and running backs.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's fun. So that's kind of where our world is right now. Mr. Driscoll and Miss Vivio, as we're known to our kiddos. But we're excited for the year. But there's a lot. I've called Matt because I knew I'm trying to kind of play catch up. I checked in with Dr. Weeks yesterday because he normally comes in whenever I was in Mexico on my mission trip. So we just wanted to kind of touch base and do a back to school thing. Same thing with Matt. We love sitting and kind of talking because we both work in the recovery community via Celebrate Recovery. We also have the Recovery Fest coming up, and I wanted to touch on that. And I can't get him in here once school starts. So that's why I was like, okay, we need to have one more visit before school gets kicked off. And just a programming note, tomorrow we will back to schedule with Brian and Catherine will be in here from United Way. And then I've also got Caleb Stratton coming in for a visit because he was out on vacation when I was gone. He would have come in and visited with Lee Marie, but he was on vacation. And we just need to kind of do a quick hit about what are we doing as far as wildlife resources right here at the end of the summer, kicking off, starting to get thinking into the fall. And we got a hunting season coming up in August. That's the velvet hunt. And so he'll be in. We just want to make sure we don't miss anything. And so Caleb's going to come in and touch on that and do some encouragement for this last little push for boating season as we approach Labor Day and all of those things. And just kind of remind everybody to be safe. And then we have Lisa Fort coming in for Redeem Her Now on Friday. So that's the slate for the rest of the week. And then we'll start it all over again first of next week with our normal rotation schedule with all the reoccurring guests. But anyway, the door's always open for Matt Driscoll. Where do you want to start this morning? I mean, we kind of filled everybody in on our school stuff and what the schedules are. But we've got, y'all had Celebrate Recovery last night. I could not be there. I've missed, unfortunately, the last month because of conflicts in my schedule. We had open house last night. It was so funny. Thomas and Rob were there, part of our praise and worship band. And so when they came popping in with the kiddos, because they've got kids at Greenbrier, I thought, well, who's doing the praise and worship tonight? But they actually got there in time, so they were just right on time. So, but I had to. Did y'all have a good meeting last night?
Wasn't there.
Oh, you didn't get to go.
No, I'm doing Trace Diaz, and so
Okay.
we meet on Monday nights to prepare for the weekend for Trace Diaz.
Right.
Trace Diaz is a ministry, 3 days in Spanish, where you get together for 3 days. Guys one weekend, gals the next weekend, and you just kind of we have candidates that go through, and we just love on candidates for 3 days. And like I was a candidate at one point, and did my weekend, and then you get to go back and serve. But to pull this weekend off, all the volunteers, it takes months in the planning to pull the weekend off. It's such an amazing spiritual weekend. But long story short, I don't want to give up 2 days of football for a Monday and a Tuesday, so I have to attend a certain amount of meetings before the weekend, Trace Diaz weekend.
Gotcha.
So I swapped a couple Mondays, but Christy's back on board. She's going to help take care of me, so I can do that, at least until school starts. Once school starts, we're practicing football from 5 to 8.
Yeah.
And that's right. That was right during CR time and
Sure.
Trace time. But once we get back to school, practice goes to 3 to 6, so it won't be a problem.
Right. Won't be a big deal.
Just leave a little early practice.
Okay.
But yeah, I just didn't feel right missing multiple days a week, getting ready, going into the season.
Oh, I got you. I get you. And I mean, that's one thing. Celebrate Recovery is one of those things that's ongoing. How many years have you been with CR?
9, a little over 9.
Wow. And it just, I'm 4 years in, and it's one of those things that you can just, you never disconnect from it, because it's never one of those things. Well, yeah, I did that, and then you put the
you never
pin in it and
there's
leave.
no graduation.
It's you just keep going, because in the way that the wonderful thing about it is the way it rotates. You have a lesson and then a testimony, a lesson and then a testimony. So you're being reminded of your lessons and your studies. We're getting ready. This is something, when we were in Mexico, our minister down there has been working with the local rehab that they've got going on there in El Rosario. And so we had an opportunity to go in and talk to them, and I talked to them a little bit about Celebrate Recovery and sent them a bunch of videos about the lessons that were in Spanish. And I want to get him a set of step study books in Spanish.
If you want,
send them.
So Celebrate Recovery has brought CR like to Haiti.
Yeah.
Been down to Dominican. CR is all over. What I would recommend there is, we can talk offline too if you want. They actually have a whole section for to help train you on how to go and train them about launching CRs in other countries and stuff like that. It's called CR International.
Okay. I need to look at that, because trying to introduce them to Celebrate Recovery down there, I was like, trying to figure the chip system. I mean, because that's one of the things I was like, I talked to the head of our chairman for our missions committee at Madison whenever I said, we need to get Celebrate Recovery in here for Freddie to be able to take into the rehab. And I thought about trying to maintain our supply of chips is difficult. Sometimes we don't realize we're out of one or something like that. I mean, because I'm the one who
I think the chips are even in Spanish. They can even buy Spanish chips that say,
Trying to ship things down there is just a nightmare. I mean, because for me to get the books to them, I'm going to ship them to San Diego, and then they're going to be carried across. But and then you figure we're a good 6 hours down the peninsula. I mean, it's not I'm going to just send this to you.
Maybe next time you go down, let's talk. Maybe I can go down with you and help you kind of pitch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that we have to pitch it, because I sent it to
as far as training and training them and, kind of help teaching them a little bit.
Well, we can work on that because, but having seeing a rehab center in another country blew my mind.
Yeah, no, it'd be fun.
Blew my mind. And just seeing those precious souls in there that were just going through such, there's no other way to say it, going through hell as they try to withdraw, and they're in, substandard, facilities They don't have enough food. One of the big things we did when we were there is we took them all hot dogs. We fed them that night, and they just don't have enough food, and because it's something that there's partially funded by the government, and our minister's wife, Alicia, she is also a counselor, and she's been going in and doing some counseling with them. And it's just breathtaking, the need. It's just breathtaking. And what little they have, the facility, was just so limited.
So my recommendation would be talk to your pastor, say, let's literally do a recovery mission.
Yeah.
Where that's the focus for a good solid, that trip, put together a team to go down.
Well, we might be able to do that even soon. I mean, quickly, because it's one of those things. The sooner the better. But nonetheless, that's Celebrate Recovery, guys. Just kind of unpack it for you a little bit. What was last night? Was it a lesson or a testimony?
It was a lesson.
So you got a lesson. So we'll be having a testimony next week. So we just officially invite you to come and be a part of Epiphany Baptist Church. Do you have the address? Where would you help?
211 First Avenue.
Okay, 211 First Avenue. It's just off downtown, and we meet. They have a meal starting around 5:45, free meal, and thank you, Tina. And then at 6:30, you'll get started with the large group, and then you have open share at 7:30, and just all the things. If you've not been a part of something like Celebrate Recovery, you don't know what you're missing as far as the intimate family atmosphere that you have. I tell people all the time, I said, I have become so close with my Celebrate Recovery family. We've got a tight little, because we have the one up at Madison, and I mean, we have all gotten so close through the work that we've done at Celebrate Recovery.
No, you end up gaining a bond. You go through step studies. You hear each other's stories and testimonies, and it's one of the few places in life that you can go and take that mask of perfection off and just be you.
And just be real.
And kind of the great part about that is, the more and more you embrace Celebrate Recovery, it bleeds over into all your life, all areas.
Yep.
Yeah, how I am on Tuesday nights, how I am on, whatever day, or at school or at home. Just allows you to be you.
Yep, for sure.
I love it. I couldn't imagine life without it now.
Well, and speak to this, because this is one of those things that people think, okay, well, recovery, I didn't know you were in recovery, Lavern. Well, I'm not from alcohol or chemical addiction. I don't have that addiction. I struggle with food.
But if you did, that'd be okay.
But that's just it. But what I'm saying is they think that's all it is for.
Yep.
It is not. About 30%, where I was going with this, is only about 30% of the people that are involved with Celebrate Recovery have drug or alcohol issues.
Well, that's what got us in the door. I do not call myself an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Alcohol got me through the door, but I'm not an alcoholic. I struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety and codependency. Yep. So do so many other people, which is what do we take those issues, whether it be say depression. For me, I self-medicated with alcohol with depression and pornography. Mm-hmm. Somebody else may turn to food. Somebody else may turn to work. They may turn to binge watching TV and slothness, laziness.
Yeah, that's a big one, guys. I'm stunned at how many people just won't turn off their screens. Those are all. I hate to say the word addiction, but those are things that are separating you from God. Yes.
So anything that separates you from God is a sin, not good.
Yep.
Because you're not turning to Him in your time of need. You're turning to other things. So, Celebrate Recovery, we focus more on the kind of not so much the what got you there, but the why you're there.
Right. And that's one of the things that we just encourage anybody. It's like, if there's something that's a stronghold in your life, if you've got something that you're leaning into more than what you're letting God do in your life. And the way I always define it when I'm teaching a lesson, I said, how do you define something that's a stronghold in your life? If it has a stronghold on you, it's a stronghold. So if you find yourself just can't wait to get home and turn on television, if you find you just can't wait to get home and get on gaming or the pornography is a huge one. I talk to my high school kids. I'll say something about the P word, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. I try to be a little covert in the things that I say, but I talk to them about the influences of social media. and the problems with social media. And, I go there and I can see it in their face the minute I say, I talk about, they know that I work in the recovery community because they know I'm on the recovery court board, because when we have a graduation, I go to the graduation. And so they know that's part of my life. And so they know I work in this community, and I say, you just have no idea what an influence that the P word is on so many people that are dealing with recovery, because they're trying to shut down from something that's happened in their life, and that is their escape. And you can just see it on their faces, the ones that have dabbled. I mean, because their face is a giveaway. You can see it in their eyes. And the ones that are already gotten hold of. I had kids come up to me last year, a couple of seniors, talk to me about they had gotten addicted to gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And very honestly talk to me about it. And I had one friend with Celebrate Recovery who is the problem is gambling, and she did a little phone testimony for me that I shared with my kiddos. And I asked her, I said, would you give them a message? And so, because I talked to them about Celebrate Recovery, and I shared that with them, and I said, but they came and asked me about it, and man, it's just it's amazing what our kids are struggling with.
I used to have a kid. He struggled with gambling, but it was actually online day trading.
Oh wow!
Because all he had to be is 18 in an account now. Wow. Same with online sportsbook betting.
Yeah.
There's that. There's see, I don't know how the kids are going to handle it this year, because this year now it's an official state law that the phones aren't allowed in the classroom.
Yeah.
You want to talk about watching a bunch of like meth heads kick the pipe? That's what it's going to be like this year with the kiddos this year, because you take away a kid's phone and it's like watching somebody go through detox. They get it's funny.
Well, see, it's
like
really
last year when they did remember TikTok went down for like a day, whatever.
Oh,
sweet Lord, you would have sworn that like the mother of all asteroids was coming to the earth or something. It was funny.
But we need to get them off of them. And that's one of the, it's been a district policy already here in our school district that they can't have phones. Now, getting them out of their hands has been a challenge, because the caveat is, well, if you need it for, because we'll have games that we'll do. What is that game that the kids do for?
GameKit, you got Cahoots.
Cahoots is the one Mark uses all the time for getting ready for a test, because his content is you got a lot of facts you got to know when it comes to criminal justice. And so mine is more hands-on, you've got to learn how to use the software, and it's more project-based and stuff. So he's got a lot of information. And so Cahoots is a great way for them to go through and learn all the terminology and things of that nature before a test. You need your phone to do that.
Basically what Kahoot is, for those that don't know. Kahoot's basically, it's like you ever go to like Greenbrier House of Pizza, and they have the trivia night. That's basically what it is. It's like a trivia night kind of format.
Is the way it works. But you use your phone to access it.
Yeah,
and so that's what the kids need. Now,
that's why they have laptops.
They can use their laptops.
Exactly. Laptops
they don't have to have but it works well with the phone. Sometimes the laptops, like right now, my laptop is not logging into the internet here.
I get it,
my
but
laptop is
the problem is if you allow that, it's like, okay, these states that have legalized weed.
Yeah.
You're seeing that those states are dropping in their economy. It's not, they're not being nearly as productive.
Yep. Wonder why.
It's the same way with the phones. If you allow it in just for that, then they're going to start creeping. And I'll admit, there are times I'm a little lax on it where, okay, hey, we're done. We're doing some quiet time. Okay, your work's done. Go ahead. I may be a little lax.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I think it's a good thing. The one argument I can't stand with it is, and I've heard it from parents too. It's like, well, what if I need to get hold of my kid? Then call the office.
There you go. That's the way we used to do it.
And we survived.
Yeah, we called the office, and then they immediately come over the speaker and say, I need so-and-so.
Yeah, we survived.
That easy.
Because I'm not letting your kiddo out of my classroom unless the front office calls down anyway. It
drives me nuts, the parents that are calling their kid, or they're texting their kids all day. And you know who you are. And you've got I've got some of my best kids. Every time I turn around, they're looking at their phone Because, well, mom, my mom's, and I'm like, but you're in the
Yeah.
little class. It's like if I text my kids during their work day, I know I'm not going to get a response because they're not going to look at their phones until their day's over.
Yeah, we're not preparing the kids for the real world. Most jobs you go to, especially if you're going to a factory,
Yeah.
you can't have your phone on you.
No.
You know, you can't. You get fired. You know, we're paying you to work, not to be on your phone.
Well, I'm doubling down on the phones. When I first started, my homeroom especially, I couldn't do anything with them because I had them my very first moments of teaching. And, you just kind of get into a rhythm with them and they're like, they kind of set the rules, unfortunately. I wasn't I didn't know what I was doing. And I mean, it was obvious. And so I just didn't know how to set up boundaries and things like that. And I tried to, every year to set new boundaries with them. And I got so tired of fighting with them. And especially their senior year, because so many of them were turning 18. They were working all the time. And so you just have a hard time telling young adults, hey, we're going to do this. And so my freshman coming in, nuh-uh.
Oh, it's just I like the law. The law is the law, and as long as admin supports us,
Yeah.
and hey, if I get a kid that's doing this, and I write them up, and please take care of it.
Yeah.
Help us out. Don't just tap them on their hand and send them back to the class.
Yeah.
It's handled up on. The law is the law now.
Yeah. So
it is what it is. My phones, I stay off it.
That's going to be the thing. Teachers, we got to stay off of them because
you got to lead by example.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll have kids call me out because we do a lot of facilitating as far as emails and things like that. And between bells is when you're going to have to check your phone and see if and check your emails, keep your computers on.
It's been CR, church, and safe harbor stuff, and Lord knows I got a bunch of hats I wear too.
Yeah.
But I keep it off, and I survive.
There you go. So.
I survive. I mean, it's just it's oddly, yes, you can get by without it, but I do think that is going back to like the addictions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids and access, it's just insane. The amount of access they have, you're seeing, and the statistics show it. Kids aren't courting like they used to, for sure. Definitely not.
They're not what now?
Courting. Like guys chasing girls.
Courting.
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 Yes, courting.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not. Like guys aren't chasing girls like they used to.
There you go.
So number one,
that's true. I mean, it's different. Yeah,
you're totally saying they don't know how to communicate.
No,
they don't call it dating anymore. They talk. Yeah, I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're talking? Well, we're talking through this chat or that chat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a different, completely, utterly different dynamic. When I was going to school work on my master's, one of the questions that had come up with is what's a concern that you see in secondary education. And as a father of many daughters, I had my brain, teenage pregnancy.
Oh, yeah.
And I figured it'd be a concern. And I started doing the research, and man, my thesis got blown out of the water because it's not really a concern right now. Yeah, I started looking at the stats. Like the highest rate for teenage pregnancy was the year I graduated, 1991. That was the all-time high. I totally see it.
Yeah.
We grew up in an era of like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 16 Candles, and everything we had was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
If you go back and watch those movies and you think, woo, wow, I was allowed to watch this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, we used to get the edited version, the TV edited version, so you go back and watch it now unedited, and you're like, ooh, oh, yeah, you can't. I wish you can't find like the made for TV versions.
Yeah.
Because those are the versions I always saw was the made for TV ones. So a lot of the ones that were like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that is a raunchy movie.
It's terrible.
Raunchy. So, anyways, but was geared towards our generation. Mm-hmm. We were all time high, and it started drastically dropping. Okay, I'm like thinking why. The AIDS epidemic was one. That would have been early 90s. That probably slowed down.
Yeah, promiscuity.
Promiscuity. There you go. Right. That's a good word. Promiscuity. And then other things like today, I think today really is, and it's like really at a super, super all-time low, and that number just keeps on driving down in all demographics, white, black, Latino, because the charts I was looking at, or the data I was looking at, showed all of them. But I think technology plays a big role in it.
Yeah.
Why does a boy need to chase after a girl when he can look at things online?
Yep.
The short dopamine, man, just to sit a kid down and have him watch a movie. When that 4-wheel cart got rolled in with the TV and the VCR, you knew it was like, all right, we're having a good day today.
We're gonna watch a movie.
We're gonna watch a movie. Now today, man, it's like you can't get a kid to sit down and watch a movie because they're so used to everything 3-minute clips. 2 3-minute clips. And it's like you guys are so missing out. You can learn a lot by watching entire movies, like teaching business, play Moneyball. Moneyball's a great movie.
See, and I'm one of those that has the hard time sitting down and watching movies. I don't have the attention span, but
there's a lot you can learn. I like more historical based movies, things that you can actually learn something with. Ford versus Ferrari, that was a great movie. Yeah, try getting the kids to watch, and you can't.
Heard of it.
Never heard of it. It was the Ford Shelby Mustang. Or the Ford Shelby trying to step foot in the racing world.
Gotcha. I gotcha. I do some video and stuff like that, but again, I remember my attention span. But
yeah, I know.
Let's pause. We're gonna have to take a break. I'm gonna have to pause you there. I want to one thing. I want to chase one rabbit off of something you said just real quickly, talking about trying to view things and find the made-for-TV versions. There's a thing called VidAngel, VidAngle, VidAngel. Or EL. How do you spell angel?
EL.
Okay. But VidAngel, and it will filter it for you.
Yep.
And so it is absolutely well worth the investment, and it will help you a lot. It'll help you a lot. So VidAngel, Angel. And that will give you a filter. But it is a price to it, but it's well worth it. You need to pause, though, and take a break and talk about our friends at the UPS store. Let's talk about what they've got going on this week or this month. Today is the last day or tomorrow the last day of July? Tomorrow's the last day. So they have coupons that come out at the UPS store. And the big thing you need to know about that is hang on to the coupons because you never know when you might need them. They never expire. The one that is coming up right now is, I had Deborah send me this just yesterday. This one will be 10% off laminating services. And so we got 10% off all printing and laminating services for all teachers. So that's a great one because we all know we love our lamination. And then you've also got 10% off postcards and invitations. So that is your discount card for the month of August. As you head back to school, you can get some lamination done with a big discount. And also, too, they always have that Amazon gift card that you can sign up for, a $250 Amazon gift card for providing your feedback. The UPS store is one of those stores that I think there's so much going on there that you don't really realize is going on. They have got every single person in there is a notary. And this is something I was talking to Tom about it the other day. I said, that is something I think that really blew my mind. I just happened to be in the store one day and said something about, I got to go find a notary. And this is when we were working on some stuff for the estate for my parents. And they're like, well, everybody in here is a notary. I'm like, you're kidding me. And it was just so convenient to be able to pop in there and know that if I need a notary, I can pop in there anytime. And every single person there, they have invested in that to make sure that you've got the notary services that you need. The UPS store, again, right here in Springfield, it's not just the place for you to drop off your Amazon packages. It is the place for your private mailbox, if you would like. It is a place where you can go in and have anything shipped. I've been in there a couple of times where they have had just the most bizarre things come in to be shipped. But they can take care of those shipping services for you. They're open 8 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. That is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday, they're open from 9 to 5, and they even have Sunday hours, 12 to 5. I compare them a lot to Chick-fil-A, and the one thing that they're not, they're even there on Sunday, unlike Chick-fil-A, but they do have the customer service that Chick-fil-A is one of those places that everybody's so nice. Well, you're going to find the same thing out at the UPS store. They're just the absolute nicest people. I have seen that place packed to the gills, line out the door, and they never lose their cool. They're patient, they're kind, and so helpful. If you want to give them a call, 615-384-0093, 615-384-0093, or you can stop by 513 Memorial Boulevard, and all the things that you need. Printing, shipping, need a private mailbox, they got it all for you. And again, 10% off lamination in August for teachers and 10% off postcards and invitations coming up in August. And when you get by there, please always let them know U-Turn sent you. Matt Driscoll, let's do the big invite for the Recovery Fest. Okay. Celebrate Recovery is going to be there for the Recovery Fest. And do you have all the details on what the specifics are?
Yeah, we're going to be teaming up with Calvary Baptist over there in Greenbrier. Okay. It's just a great opportunity to come and learn more about recovery. Obviously, the Recovery Fest, generally those are geared more towards
alcohol and drugs.
Alcohol, drugs, and the Recovery Court puts it on. They do a great job. Last year, or this is our second year. Last year was the first year doing it. Mm-hmm. I've done the one in Sumner, Davidson.
There's some details. If you need them.
Yeah, Sumner and Davidson for years. So it's really good that we have that going here in the county. So it's August 9th, 5 to 9 p.m. There's going to be a live band playing, lots of booth, lots of speakers, food. It's like on the flyer, it says family friendly, which it is. It's a great opportunity.
We'll have a Dunkin' booth.
Yeah, they had Dunkin' booth. They got Dunkin' booth again.
Dunk the judge.
Yeah, there's usually a really long line when Joel gets in there.
Judge Perry gets up there, and everybody's like, come on, let me at him.
Joel gets in there. Yeah. He wants to be in a pretty long line for him. It's so good. I mean, I know I've never had to go and sit in front of him as far as that goes. But I remember, I was definitely for supporting him and helping out with his campaign for re-election. And I can honestly say, when I tell folks that come through Celebrate Recovery and they're like, oh, man, my world's ending. I had this whatever DUI. I'm like, look, you just go in front of Judge Perry and just be humble. Be honest. He's a good dude. He really is. Yeah. Judge, if you're listening, I do think you're a good dude. I really mean that. Yeah. I think he's good. He's got a good Christian heart too. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So he I think he does from the what do they call it? It's not the pulpit and from the bench. Yeah. I definitely think God's definitely there at the center with him at the bench. Mm-hmm. As far as his decision, his wisdom.
Very definitely.
Just don't go up there and be honest. You try. But I've also known to bring a hammer down to some folks too.
Well,
and that it needs to.
Exactly.
It's like if you've gone in front of him a couple times and still acting a fool, then it's biblical too. Mm-hmm. You can't just go around acting.
Accountability.
Got to be accountability. But he's definitely a big proponent of what we do at Celebrate Recovery. He's a big proponent of helping folks out in the county. He's pretty lenient. He's fair, and that's what I tell folks. I've never had to go and sit in front of him, but everything I've witnessed about Joel is that he is a very fair, and he's got a good heart for folks. Mm-hmm. So I've always all my time with him that I've had brief time is just I've been impressed.
What's really funny, and the thing that we see in Recovery Court, if you've been, I don't think I've missed a graduation in, probably 4 years now, but ever since they invited me to be on the board, and it's just something that just means the world to me because seeing the changed lives, and it's hysterical because they'll get up and when they're being presented with their graduation certificate and all this, and they go up and they talk about how much they didn't like Joel, and then, Judge Perry, and then on the other side of it, they just love him. And so the Dunkin' booth is kind of that fun thing where they're like, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of, I'm going to get you, Judge, but they're so thankful for what he was able to do in their lives.
Because most of the folks, just like in recovery, we see it in the same Recovery Court, and what they're trying to do here is that, you've got to want recovery.
Yes.
And if you don't want it, then you're going to push back and you're going to fight the process.
Right.
And basically what they're saying is, here's the process. We want Robertson, kind of like Cheatham County, both these two counties get kind of a bad rap. You know, we are kind of more of a working class, farming, middle to
I
low.
think that's the best thing about us.
I do, but we're as far as like we're middle to lower demographic, socioeconomic demographic, and whenever you have a middle to lower socioeconomic demographic, you're gonna have a tendency to have a little higher percentage of drug and alcohol use. You know, and we've got to wipe away that image, and it's folks like Recovery Court and Judge Perry and his team, Celebrate Recovery, what you and I do. That's how we can change that mentality.
Too bad, for sure.
You know, work in Cheatham County, we did a 7-on-7 drills with another school, and the kids on this other school were, because I'm walking up and down the line calling the plays. I'm listening to this other teams were all sharing a sideline, hearing them run their mouth about our kids, in the town, the community, and just like, guys, this is just, let's break the chain, let's break that mold of of what this county is and what people think of you guys as students as far as the school. And the same goes for us here in the county, here Robertson County. We got to break the mold, and things like this Recovery Fest that are going on. Come check it out.
Y'all will have a booth, right?
Yeah, we'll have a booth.
We'll have a booth.
Yeah, come check it out. There's gonna be a lot of different organizations there that everybody. I would argue 100% of people out there listening right now in the world right now has dealt with recovery, whether it be you are the person struggling with it, or somebody that's been struggling with addictions. Everybody, addiction does not know. It doesn't. Addiction problems do not know socioeconomic, whether it be white, black, Asian, Latino. It doesn't know rich, poor. Addiction has hit every family in this country. And it's just about time we got to start coming out of denial. There's more talk about it. We're starting to hear more talk about mental health, which is I love, because that's something I think we've drastically annihilated over the past 10, 20 years. You look at the case of the shooting in New York just the other day. Mental health issue, clearly mental health issue. Says that he had TBI from the NFL, never played in the NFL. He never played past high school. So there's definitely some mental health issues. He actually had his mental health meds in his car. But that's an area that we've neglected. And I think
we have a mental health court now. We have
and I think I see the pendulum swinging back to that, because mental health does play a big role in addictions. Yeah, it really does. So I'm you watch, like, everything in life is a pendulum swing, right? Earlier I talked about teenage pregnancy. We're at an all-time low. It's a matter of time probably before it starts ramping back up the other direction. Everything has its ebbs and flows like a tide. But for the longest time, we started neglecting a lot of things on mental health and the addictions. We turned a blind eye. Especially like in these rural counties. Rural counties don't like to talk about addictions. Why? Because we don't talk about our stuff outside our walls. Well, you got to, and it's real. You can't hide it. Bible's very clear. Everything you hide, everything in the darkness comes to light.
You better believe it.
So you got to get it out there, and there's resources like the Recovery Fest, Recovery Court, Celebrate Recovery, AA, NA, you name it. Get out there and do it. Get out there and support. There are going to be ministries here at Recovery Fest, all kinds of tables and booths, different ministries like Celebrate Recovery.
Open Door is going to be there.
Open Door, they'll have like their big old trailer.
Yeah, they have all kinds of programs that help you in your parenting walk. If you've ever been to the big dinner they have for Open Door, so many of the people that come through and get parenting classes need them because they've maybe grown up in a family of addiction. That's one thing
or they've been struggling with addiction themselves, and they've got their kids taken away.
Well, that's just it. But maybe what I'm saying is that Judge Perry will even tell you that so often, unfortunately, he'll be on the bench and he'll have a person that comes in that he's had their parent and their grandparent. And so they've never been taught to parent because they weren't properly parented. And so that's why something like Open Door is so critical in their journey through addiction. And so you'll find that's the thing. I will carry flyers for the Recovery Court to school, because so many kids will go, my uncle needs this, my mother needs this, my sibling needs this. And that way they can encourage it's something that they can do to help their loved one walk through recovery. And you'll get resources on how to walk through it. You'll find out about rehab centers. You're going to find about all these things.
Those are areas that you can donate to, whether it be, tithing is more than just money. Maybe it's a way that you can donate some of your time to as well. Hope Center here in Springfield. They get about 20 some out there. I think maybe 28 beds. I think they got something like that. But one thing they're always looking for, demand they have, is for men to come in and help counsel the guys early on. I did that for years, but Kira, can't get my plate's a little full now. But I know Joe over there, dear friend of mine. I love him, and he's always looking for guys to come over and help plug in with them. Great in town ministry, something you can plug into here. But there's a bunch. So I definitely encourage, come out, check it out, come support it. It'd be a good time. August 9th, 5 to 9, I think, or 5 to 8. 5
to 9, it says on the
flyer. I think it was
so we're going to be there all day. And we moved it to the evening this time because last year it was just so hot.
It was warm.
So we're going to go 5 to 9 this year, and we're at the fairgrounds. So we'll be talking more about it, but that's one of the main things I wanted Matt to come in and talk to you about, because I knew we'd be having a Celebrate Recovery booth there. They've asked me to host it. So I'm very excited to do that. So I'm the host.
You never hauled me for speaker then?
Well, they just asked me like last week if I would do it, and so I was like, I'd be more than happy to. So, and like I've been very honored to be on the Recovery Court board, and so they've asked me to come in and host the event, and so I'm thrilled to be there and be a part of it. Got a lot of great sponsors that are involved with it. We've got Nashville Cares, United Way, Walker, and let's see if I can get through. I can't see them all. I need my glasses.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Anyway, we'll go through those, guys. We'll go through those in a little bit, but we need to pause for a second and talk about the Richardses, our folks up in Cross Plains. Cross Plainians themselves, Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. We talk about them every day because they are our longest running full-time sponsor, and we love them so much. I was over on Rebecca's Facebook page. Best way to know what's going on in their world, follow them on social media. Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty, Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You'll find them. You can follow them and find out all that's going on in their world. Rebecca had a open house on Sunday. So sometimes she'll be like, hey, we got a chance to have an open house. It was up in the Cottontown area, an area that's just so popular right now. If you haven't realized, Robeson County is the it place because it's, a little more affordable than Franklin, but man, everything we've got so much going on here. If you've got property for sale, or you're thinking about putting it up for sale, talk to Barry and Rebecca. You can get a free market analysis if you want to find out just how much value, how much equity you might have in your property. Maybe you're wanting to do an equity loan. Those kinds of questions can be answered, but they can also help you figure out when is a good time to go ahead and say, I think it's time for me to sell and do something different. Maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you're older. Rebecca's one of the first in the area to be a senior real estate specialist. That means so many things, including the fact that to help you realize when it's time to downsize. If you've got property and the kids have moved away and they're not coming back, what are you hanging on to it for? Maybe you can ease your life by going into a smaller place. And
the Fed's about their really big, strong push on the Fed lowering interest rates too, so that'll help boost it.
It's going to help boost it. The big thing is, I asked Barry and Rebecca, anytime the interest rates are fluctuating or anything, when is a good time to buy? And Barry will tell you right now, because what happens when interest rates are high, housing prices come down. Interest rates go down, housing prices go up. I mean, it's just it's a wash kind of either way when you really look at it. And so those are the kinds of things that they'll help you understand. Barry's a broker, and he is officed here in Springfield. Rebecca is an agent that's officed up in White House. They combined those two offices to bring you Exit Prime Realty, a new branch in the Exit Tree. They did that, I think we're kind of coming up on 2 years. Man, time flies. But nonetheless, Barry, of course, with that brilliant marketing background, came out of a media marketing career in Nashville. He was for 17 years a vice president of a media marketing company. So when he brings that expertise to the table, your property is going to be seen in the absolute best light, the videography, the photography, the drone footage, all the things, walkthrough tours. You got it. Your property will sell and sell quickly when you've got them on your team. 615-504-7425, 504-7425 is Rebecca's number. Or you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. Let them know you turned sent ya. All right, Matt, we got 10 minutes, buddy. Got Lee Marie coming. Well, we got about 6 minutes now. Lee Marie's coming in here. Today's Ghost Show Day, and she filled in again. Thank you, Lee Marie, for covering for me for 2 weeks in a day. I was out, I had another surgery last week, and so that was the reason why I didn't come back right after I got back from Mexico. But we were on our mission trip to Mexico and got to go up to Michigan for a big family reunion up there. We just had a nice little break, just kind of stepped away. I don't ever talk about that on the front end because I don't want people to know that I'm not there. Well, there's always people at my place because, we have animals and all that, so we have people around. So thank you to Jim Tees for taking care of my animals, and Brady. It's so funny. Their little one, they were going out to work with my dogs and stuff. And Brady would be like, we got to go rescue the dogs, the big dogs. He's a little fella. And anyway, long story. I'm not going to get into it. I'm chasing a rabbit. What you got for me, Matt?
The dream of taking a long vacation.
Yeah. We didn't take a vacation.
Or just to be able to leave. It's just, it's like hard for us.
Yeah, you've got all those horses.
Yeah, the horses.
You've got lots.
The horses,
just
the goats.
The dogs is hard enough.
Yeah, the dogs, horses, goats, sheep, cows.
Yeah. Just trying to find somebody to help with your,
That's one thing. Dogs. Hey, can you come let my dogs out? That's one thing. Hey, can you come by feed water the horses, the cows, the sheep, the goats? Yeah.
That's a lot.
I can dream.
That's a lot. When you have, and I grew up, my brother, bless his heart, he's farmed his whole life. And we were talking the other day about, he could list on one hand the real vacations he's ever had. And he's, just 5 years younger than me, because they had hogs for years and years and years. And you just can't walk away from a farm.
Yeah, take care of them.
Hard. But all those that helped me be able to do that, thank you very much, and we do appreciate it. But
let me go ahead and plug the other little thing that we're part of is Safe Harbor Sanctuary.
Yeah. Go ahead and talk.
And we've got some really been doing some pretty good events lately. Mm-hmm. So what Safe Harbor Sanctuary is, for those out there, we can kind of blend like the CR world and church world into this. It's a great opportunity to go and get at peace. If you've ever been around a horse, horses pick up on vibes. Yeah. And they're very therapeutic. Again, I'm not a horse person. Christy is, my wife. But yet, I enjoy my time around them. I really do. I'll sit out there and she picks me on all the time. I'll be out there having conversations with the horses, and they sense my vibe.
Christy will tell you she'd really rather hang out with horses than people.
Yeah, any day of the week. But what we do is right now we focus only on standardbreds. Standardbreds are the ones that race at like Oak Grove and stuff like that.
Did y'all have that fundraiser? Because we were supposed to go, but
we did
because we were in Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really well. They donated a check to us.
Okay.
They have a race that is all amateurs, drivers.
Right.
So to keep their amateur status, they can't collect the check. So the winnings.
Gotcha.
The winnings from that race goes to a nonprofit.
Gotcha.
So they donated their nonprofit winnings to us. Very thankful and appreciative of it. Because it costs about $300 to $400 a month for upkeep of a horse. So what we do is, Safe Harbor is we find a horse in really bad condition, rescue, and we repurpose them. We get them back to health. Right now, so out of our horses, the ones that we own, 2 of our 4 have been adopted by us through the program. We're currently fostering a 5th. It's kind of like fostering a kid. Safe Harbor will help pay for all the costs, just like you would, like the state pays for fostering children. And part of that cost that we cover is we cover farrier, vet, feed, all that. Mm-hmm. Get the horse back up to health. And find them a forever home.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. So right now, Ben, the big boy we're fostering right now, he's 17 and a half hands. He's a big boy. Yeah. He had over $1 million of winnings. He's actually from Maine too. His original owner was in Maine, not too far from where I grew up.
Wow.
Which is kind of ironic. kind of got bounced around a little bit, raced for that farm for years, got sold to somebody, they sold it to somebody, they sold it to somebody, and eventually, whatever owner had him just was not taking good care of him. He was emaciated. I mean, it was all skin and bone.
Horses need a lot of food.
And I know when they got a hold of the original owner, they sent a picture of Ben, or Native Speed was his race name. The original owners were just like floored at the condition they were in. They were so upset.
Yeah.
And
they thought they were getting the horse to somebody that was going to take really good
care of him, and it just didn't work out. And but now, I mean, he's healthy as all get up now. He's a very gentle soul. That's kind of the cool part about standardbreds. Standardbreds are so used to pulling. The Amish love them. Right. The Amish will get them off the track because they're already used to pulling. They're great horses, and they're mellow. They're great around kids because they're used to chaos. Yeah. So they're used to be out driving. They're used to out pulling on the road where there's cars and all kinds of noises. So they're not really skittish. They're not going to jump at the sound of a backfire or something like that. Sure. They're accustomed to that. So what we do is we find them, we repurpose them. Our needs really are, yes, obviously money. Okay, it costs money to do this, but we also need volunteers. We need fosters. That's probably our big push right now. Right. We need folks to foster. If you've got the room or the ability to put a horse up, we could. Reach out to us.
How can they get in touch with you? We got to wrap it up.
Safeharbor.org.
Safeharbor.org. Safeharbor.org. Matt Driscoll, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Godspeed on the new school year and your football season and all the things. And we got to get out of here because Lee Marie's going to run us off. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow we're going to visit with Caleb Stratton again, take a quick visit with him, just kind of catch us up on everything wildlife resources. And back in the seat, of course, Brian and Catherine from United Way, talking to them again on 1100 WSGI for another episode of One Street Over. Stay tuned for the Go Show coming up next with my sweet friend, Lee Marie. God bless.
Good job. This is Austin Glover, and you're listening to WSGI AM 1100 Springfield, God's Informer. Harry and Rebecca Richards have an invitation for you. They want you to join